It's Saturday, May 26, 2018. We're going to talk a little wrestling. We've already done one topic on wrestling. We're going to do, I think, maybe one, maybe two more. I don't know. Depends on how long this video goes. So, what we're going to talk about is, should Rusev have gotten Roman Reigns' push? So, to all of you out there, happy Rusev Day. Because every day is Rusev Day, right? Now, this is one of the reasons that Rusev should have gotten Roman Reigns' push. First off, Roman Reigns keeps getting forced down everybody's throat. It's obvious the fans don't like him. They just don't. I'm not a fan of Roman Reigns. I was barely a fan of his when he was part of the Shield. But for some reason, they looked at Roman Reigns and said, that's the guy we're going to push forward. I don't remember Roman Reigns ever being that good on the microphone. I mean, he's a decent worker, but he's not the most skilled in-ring technician. He's a big guy. He has, I don't know if they're trying to sit there and recreate The Rock through Roman Reigns, but it's not going to work. People don't want Roman Reigns. The fans have told you this through their boos. They boo all the time when Roman Reigns comes out, and yet he's supposed to be the good guy. How many times do you remember when Stone Cold or The Rock was going through their babyface phases? How many times were they ever booed? I don't remember. You might hear a smattering of boos, a boo. I'm sure there were people that were booing that didn't like The Rock or Stone Cold or Hulk Hogan in his heyday, but you couldn't hear them. Roman Reigns, you can hear him. You can hear him more than the cheers. And I guess at Backlash, when Roman Reigns was facing Brock Lesnar, the fans walked out in the middle. They walked out before the match and during the match because they're tired of Roman Reigns. So why is it that Rusev, who the people seem to really love, why are they still keeping him heel? Why is the WWE not recognizing this? I mean, does the WWE have 7 months of scripts prepared in advance and they can't change them, because their writers are too stupid? I don't know. They can't make revisions. They can't, think on the fly. Because the fans have spoken. The fans have spoken for a couple of years now. They don't want Roman Reigns. They want Rusev. So how do you fix this? Do you want Rusev to be a big star? Do you want him to make you money? Or do you want to just keep leaving him behind the scenes? Now, why? Rusev could make you money. I guarantee you those Rusev Day shirts are selling. And they're probably selling really, really, really well. So why not go with the guy that is marketable? He's good on the mic. He's charismatic. He's funny. Why not push this guy? And let him do some of his own stuff. Don't have the writers write his stuff. Let Rusev do it. Because I think he's pretty clever. And he'll wow you. He'll bring some of that stuff to the forefront, and he can capitalize on this if you just let him be a babyface. But who's he going to be a babyface against? You got to find him competition. Now I'm looking at that SmackDown roster, and there's not a great selection of heels. But there are two in particular that would really, really, really help Rusev. Number one is Randy Orton. Randy Orton is one of the best heels of all time because he just looks like a jerk and he acts like a jerk, and the fans don't like him very much either. So why not have Rusev go up against Orton? Because when Orton wants to be vicious, he can be vicious. So you let Orton kind of maybe lead the way and start to establish Rusev as a babyface. And then we're going to pass him on because Orton is going to be, he's getting to the end of his career, and he's going to be more useful to you in small bites. You don't want a long, drawn-out thing with Randy Orton. We've seen most of what Randy Orton can do as a heel. So you want to get some of his all-time greatest hits, put him in there against Rusev, really get the fans sympathetic with Rusev to really push him to babyface status. And you probably do it pretty quick because Orton can be a heel and he can do it real good. So that gets Rusev going in the right direction. Now you need somebody who can match him on the microphone and might even be better than him on the microphone. But the promos should be brilliant between these two. The Miz. You put him with The Miz. Now, both of them are talented in the ring. Both of them are talented at promos. Both of them could push each other. And this could even bring maybe Miz up even a little bit higher, which he should be. Because he is talented and he does deserve a better push than what he's getting. Well, maybe Rusev and The Miz could start something where they bring each other up into main event status. I really think Rusev could be a main eventer. I think they put the wrong tag on Roman Reigns. He's not a main eventer. He's not the guy that should be leading as your babyface, because nobody likes him. So Rusev, give him the push. Put him up against Randy Orton to get him going, and then you put him up against The Miz and let The Miz and Rusev go at it. They could have some epic promo battles and epic battles in the ring. I guarantee it would be a fun rivalry. Now, if you're so determined to make Roman Reigns a face, first you have to make him a heel. And you have to make him a sickening heel. You have to make him so hated that there is almost no redeeming qualities. Now remember, The Rock did this. So if you want this guy to follow in The Rock's footsteps, you may have to do what you did with The Rock. Now, The Rock could cut a great promo. I don't know if Roman can do that. So you may never get this guy to main eventer status again. He may be a mid-carder for the rest of his career unless you can turn him around. And the best way to do it is make him a heel and let him rip into the fans. Let him let loose on the fans. Let him say all the things that are on his mind. Now, it's going to look kayfabe and it's going to look like a work, but it can be all that stuff that's been in his heart, that's been bubbling, that's just been sitting there. Now you let him let loose. Almost like a CM Punk thing when he kind of let loose on the WWE and it pushed him a little bit higher up. You let Roman Reigns do that. Let loose on the fans. Let loose on maybe wrestlers in the back or whatever, where he sits there and he goes, I didn't ask for the push. They gave me the push. Don't get mad at me, and don't get, and have them say that to the fans. It's like, don't get mad at me. I'm doing what I have to do to make a paycheck. I'm doing what I have to do to make a living. It's like, and just have him rip into the fans about how much he hates them and how much they don't appreciate how hard he works for them. And just sit there and he goes, I'm done with all of you. I don't want any of you to like me. You boo me and you boo me the best you can. Bring it on. I'll take all the boos, all the hatred, and it'll fuel my run. And so now you need a baby face for him, and you got to make Roman truly a heel. And part of making Roman a heel is you have to come up with a gimmick that puts him over the top. And his name is Roman Reigns. He's going to have something that when he gets super pissed, because remember when Hulk Hogan would start to get really beat up, and then all of a sudden none of the punches or kicks would have any effect, and he'd just do that thing, he'd just go, and he'd just be stomping around the ring, and then he'd come back? Roman Reigns needs something like that, but he needs it to be fueled by hatred and anger. So when the fans are just mercilessly booing him, and they're just giving him a hard time, and he's sick and tired of listening to it, he goes into something called Roman's Rage. That's right, Roman's Rage, where he just all of a sudden says, I've had enough. Almost an Incredible Hulk thing. He's just pissed and he's gonna go nuts. And whoever is the person in the ring with him is just gonna get lit. And you don't know when it's gonna happen. You don't know what's gonna make him snap. You don't know what his trigger is always. Sometimes it's boos, sometimes it's chants against him, sometimes it's something that maybe another wrestler says to him, but he just loses it. And of course, he let him go even after the bell. Even after the bell's gone off, let him just pound on whoever he's pounding on mercilessly. And when he's in that mode, nobody can stop him. You got to make him unbeatable. Send people down to the ring. Like, let's say he's beating up on somebody. You start sending people down to the ring and he just takes them out and goes back to beating on this person. You have to make him hated. And now you need some baby faces that you can also kind of have as come to the rescue people. So I'm thinking there are 3 guys on the roster that could use some elevating, that are really talented, that could use some elevating. And I thought of Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Roode. These guys could use some elevating. So maybe pick one of these guys to kind of be a savior. One of those guys that can come down to the ring and every once in a while can put Roman Reigns in his place even when he's raging. Just knocks him out of the ring or something. Even have have Drew McIntyre just come down there and kind of kick him right in the teeth and knock him over the top rope, and just have Roman kind of standing there looking up at him going, what? And then it's like, and if Roman starts to get, back in the ring, him and them, they could go at it a few times and punch each other, and then maybe a bunch of the other people kind of split them up, so that you don't have to have your epic matches right there. But, you could do it with Finn Balor, you could do it with Drew, you could do it with Bobby Roode as well, and then that helps them. Because the fans already hate Roman Reigns, so anybody that can stop Roman Reigns will probably be somebody that the fans gravitate to. So you can build up a new babyface, and you can really, really, really make Roman a big-time heel. Now, when he gets to a certain point, you can do something where you give Roman a little time off. Maybe he's raged a little too hard. Maybe he's gone too far a few times, and so you suspend him. It's like, that's it, Roman, you're suspended, you're gone. You give him a chance to be away from wrestling, and you establish a new heel. Somebody that's kind of despicable as well, that's doing things the wrong way and is making things miserable for other roster members. And maybe Roman comes back and he just plows right through this guy who's doing this stuff. It's not because he's trying to save anybody, it's because he goes, that's my thing. I'm the bad guy. I'm the guy that takes people out, not you. You don't take people out, I do. And then you kind of gradually, where Roman starts to come to maybe people's aid. And the thing is, when he starts cutting heel promos, those are some of the easier promos I think these guys can cut, because they can let loose internally. And they can let out some of their frustrations and some of their anger and they can put it in a wrestling format, so that they can put it in a promo and they can maybe rip into people, and they start to learn how to cut better promos. So maybe this could happen for Roman Reigns. He could learn how to cut a better promo, and then you can maybe slowly gauge how the fans react to when Roman comes in and saves the day, and then maybe you can make him a mixture of Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, where he's anti-authority and he maybe can cut a nice promo here and there. I don't know. But if you want Roman Reigns to be a heel or a babyface someday, you're going to have to turn him into a vicious heel to do it. You're going to have to make him super hated. And I think this is a way you could do it. You could really put Roman Reigns, and believe me, you can be a main eventer that way. You could be a main eventer just by being the most hated guy in the room. Because everybody's going to boo you anyway, and that's what you want, that fan reaction, because you want whatever babyface he's going against to get that pop. So they could help out maybe one of their other guys like Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Roode. I mean, Bobby Roode is kind of an older guy, so if you want to give him a push, this is the time. But Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor could be around for a little bit longer, maybe give them the push to babyface status. And they're both super talented, so why not? So there you go. That's my way to help make Rusev, help him get back up into the ranks of main event babyface guys, so that the fans can just love him and more merchandise can sell. And this is a way to make Roman Reigns a super heel, and then maybe if the fans start to come around on him because maybe they, for whatever reasons, going from extreme heel where he comes in and he maybe busts up another heel, and then just you gradually put him back to babyface, but with some heel mentality to him. So, those are just some thoughts that maybe this is a way that you could bring Roman Reigns, back up to the top in a way the fans like, which is the most important thing. So, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. With all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.